Hey guys, my name is Rob Lopicola. I am a transformation specialist. I am sex addicted free. I am free from sex addiction. I'm free from meth addiction, and I am sober from alcohol addiction as well for nearly 12 years. But I struggled with sex addiction for decades. I was a crystal meth addict and an alcoholic, and I'm grateful to say that I have 12 years or nearly 12 years of sobriety under my belt, and there is no life like a sober life free from the addiction to sex and drugs and alcohol and that chaotic life. And I am here on my YouTube channel every Tuesday, and I basically give my experience, strength, and hope, and I give knowledge and expertise, techniques and strategies to help you break free from your sex addiction in particular, but other addictions that may play a role with your sex addiction as well. And one of those addictions that you may be struggling with, and that's why you're here, is Grindr addiction. And I often think of a 12-step meeting that goes something like this. Hi, my name is Rob, and I'm a Grindr addict. Can that ring a bell with you maybe? And you know, the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, I often think of the first step where I would say, we were powerless over Grindr addiction, and our lives have become unmanageable. Yes, can you relate to that? Has your life become unmanageable because of your addiction to Grindr? So there have been studies done on Grindr and men using Grindr and addiction-related behaviors with Grindr, and studies have shown that Grindr addiction is an addiction, and it's a behavioral addiction. So you may actually have a behavioral addiction to Grindr, much like addiction to heroin and cocaine. That's how it works in the brain. There are nearly 13 million men around the world who are on Grindr every single day. And you're never going to believe this. Now, if you're addicted to Grindr, you have maybe spent hours and hours and hours on Grindr a day. And this is my cat. This is Stormy. Found her in the woods. Yes, in the woods. About 7 months ago, and I've kept her since. So she's my baby girl. Anyway, so there are about 13 million Americans on Grindr every single day. The average user, right, I'm gonna have to shut the door. I'm gonna shut the door. The average Grindr user, now different studies have had different results. The average Grindr user uses Grindr 4 years a year. The cat is gone. The average Grindr user, now get this, I was shocked myself when I heard about the numbers from various different studies. Studies have shown that Grindr users use Grindr, they're on Grindr, surfing Grindr, 4 weeks a year at 40 hours a week. Other studies have shown that the Grindr user is using Grindr up to 9 weeks, 40 hours a week, 9 weeks a year. Can you imagine that? The average Grindr user is therefore using Grindr as a full-time job for 1 to 2 months a year. Incredible. I'm not surprised. I understand Grindr addiction, and if you're addicted to Grindr, I know you understand the behavioral addiction you have with Grindr. So if your life is becoming unmanageable because of your behavioral addiction to Grindr, there are ways to break free, but it's very, very difficult. You likely have an addiction to compulsively check your messages to see who wants you, who cares about you, who loves you, who wants to meet with you. And your self-esteem can be knocked down many pegs, totally reliant on who wants you or how many people are responding to your ads, your pictures, your posts. Your self-esteem may plummet because people aren't responding positively. Your self-esteem may plummet because men are responding with you and they're talking with you and then they disappear. You know that happens. People ghost you all the time. It affects your self-esteem, and then suddenly if everybody wants you, if you post a new picture and everyone's wanting you and everyone's messaging you, you feel great about yourself. Your self-esteem, your confidence is based on the response you're getting on Grindr. So your self-esteem is completely directly tied to people responding to you on Grindr. And Grindr has become a behavioral addiction where you're spending 4 to 9 weeks a year, full-time hours on the app. Can you see how this is seemingly irrational? This is irrational. Now, I need you to understand something. If you're addicted to Grindr, if you have this behavioral addiction, it's not a moral failing. You are not a dirty person or a bad person. This addiction takes control, much like heroin addiction and cocaine addiction. And the hunt on Grindr for sex is as addictive as sex itself. And Grindr has a knack of being very erratic with actually you meeting someone and hooking up. With you meeting someone and connecting, it's very erratic. It can happen in minutes, a couple of hours, or days. It's totally erratic. You could meet someone in the morning, and then it could be 2 days before you meet someone, and on the third day, you can meet 4 people. So it's so erratic, and it taps into the pleasure senses of the brain and releases massive amounts of dopamine. The noise on the phone releases massive amounts of dopamine. The hunt for sex releases massive amounts of dopamine. The connection, when you're finally going to connect and someone's coming over, you're going there, a massive release of dopamine. You have become so addicted to the rush and the excitement of dopamine from Grindr that actually, if you delete the app, you go through withdrawal. Yes, you get depressed, you feel lonely, and you feel like you're missing out. And you want to get right back on that app. You're missing out on an opportunity for somebody to want you and love you and nurture you and take care of you and validate you. So 13 million men around the world are on Grindr. A significant number are addicted to Grindr. The average user, 4 to 9 weeks a year, full-time hours on Grindr. Can you see, for most people, there's an issue here with Grindr. The question isn't about everybody or most or some. The question is you. Are you Grindr addicted? I just want to show you something real quick. And now I want to show you this. The choice is yours, which one you want to live. You can make a decision to no longer be on the Grindr app, to delete your ad, delete your post, delete the app, and get on the right road and live a life free from the behavioral addiction you are experiencing to Grindr. Your addiction to Grindr is leading to depression, anxiety, leading to late nights staying up on the app, early mornings running to that app to see who responded overnight. Your reliance on Grindr has now become part of what validates you and makes you feel loved and wanted. I got to tell you, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's an illusion. It's all an illusion. None of it's real. It's an illusion. You're not living life truly connected on a loving, emotional, spiritual plane. You're wrapped in the life of objectification. You're wrapped in the life of addiction. You're wrapped in a life that is unmanageable and out of control. So I strongly suggest that you take these 3 suggestions that I'm going to give you right now quickly and change your life and break free from your addiction to Grindr. So there are 3 strategies you can use right now, today, tonight, whatever time it is for you that you're watching this video, to stop using Grindr. 1, make a decision. Make a decision right now that you are going to stop using Grindr. Don't negotiate with that decision. Don't renege on that decision. Don't think about what you're going to lose making that decision. Make the decision to no longer use Grindr. Then take a look at all of the positive results of no longer being on Grindr. Don't look at what you're missing out on. Don't look at the opportunities you're no longer going to have with potentially a hottie. Your life is going to be the result of what you're looking at. So make the decision and then look at the positive results you're going to get being off Grindr. You have more time, more energy, more focus. You're going to have more time to sleep, more time to relax, less time distracted, which could lead to more time and focus at work, at the gym, and in real relationships with real people around you. Take a look at the positive results you're going to get when you're no longer on Grindr. Next, talk with someone you trust who's not on Grindr and tell them what you're going to do by deleting this app and how the app has negatively impacted your life. Share that with a third person. Share with someone how it has negatively impacted your life and that you're going to delete it and why. What that's going to do is it's going to bring it to the light. It's no longer a secret. Not that it is a secret. Most people don't hold being on Grindr as a secret. But most people are having conversations or hooking up with people that they don't want anyone else to know about. You have probably settled for sexual encounters that in your right mind, free from the addiction to Grindr, you never would put yourself in. You have probably regretted sending pictures to numerous people and probably been disgusted by some of the pictures you received as well. Bring it to the light and share it with another person, because that's going to start to give you power. It's going to put the light switch on in the darkness, and darkness can't survive where there is light. And then delete your ad and the app. That's it. No negotiating. Your life will be better. Let me tell you something. When you are committed to self-betterment and you have a healthy vibration in line with the universe, and you're living a social, positive, constructive, loving life out of objectification, out of an addictive behavior, the right person will come along and you'll be available. Because when you're on Grindr and you're encompassed or captivated by objectification and the illusion of what you think it's giving you, the right person may be coming by, but you're unavailable. You didn't even notice. When you're off the app and you're focused and you're in line with the universe, the right person will come along and you're available, you'll notice. And then you have a potential for a healthy, romantic, or loving experience. There is another side of Grindr. There is another life to live. There are beautiful things on the other side of the mountain of Grindr. Just get on the other side. Life is beautiful. Let me tell you something. I was a hardcore, full-fledged sex and drug addict and alcoholic. Grindr addict, Manhunt, Adam for Adam, Craigslist. I was on it all. If this life of sobriety wasn't good, I would have went right back to all of that chaos. And I was a hardcore addict of all of these things. I would have returned. And I'm still living a clean, sober life from sex, Grindr, meth, and alcohol. And I was at the bottom of the barrel. Yes, I was. I was in a, wow. If you know my history, you know my story, then you know where I was. And if I can live this life, so can you. So I want you to go on my website. I'm going to have the link below, and I want you to watch my complimentary, my free 10-step strategy session to help you eradicate sex addiction and all of these addictions out of your life for good. And please download my free ebook, 5 Phases of Recovery and Transformation from Sex Addiction, right there on my website. I'll have the link below. It's all free, and if you don't get it, you're insane. So go on my website. Again, the links are below. It's real easy. Get it for free. I also have a 30-day Sex Addicts Recovery and Transformation Accelerator program. It launches in about 50 days from me making this video. And I'm going to be taking 15 men only into this online course to change and transform their life out of sex addiction and Grindr addiction and all of this so they can thrive as healthy, strong, positive, beautiful individuals free from addiction. You're all beautiful. You're all wonderful, wonderful souls just caught up in a behavioral addiction that's taking you down. So why don't you take that beauty that's within you and get rid of the darkness and live the life you deserve. If you like all of this, if you resonated with this video, please subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, hit the bell. I post a video every Tuesday. The bell will notify you that I have another video out there for you to watch. And I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday for another topic having to do with something about sex addiction. You be well. Have a great day. Take care.